All right, it's time to start your Maglev project using either the online SketchUp or, if you are at school, the desktop version of SketchUp. Here we go. Step 1, using the select tool up here. Remove the person. It may be a man, a woman, doesn't matter. Step 2, let's put it in the correct dimensions. Go to the top window, Model Info, and when you click on Model Info, this pops up. Make sure units is turned on, decimal. Now you don't want millimeters, you want centimeters. Precision 0.0. Close that window. All right, excuse me. You should be able to see down at the bottom right-hand corner the measurements box. If you don't, just double-click up here at the top, and that will make it appear. Sometimes it disappears. If you don't have the toolbar, make sure you go to View, Toolbars, and make sure that the large tool set is turned on. You don't need getting started. All right, so we've got it set up metric, and we're ready to draw the maglev. Now, in this activity, I'm going to draw a maglev. Yours should not look like this. You have to make yours different. But there will be one thing in common, and that is the styrofoam base. So here we go. Turn on the rectangle tool, and as usual, always start at the origin. Pull out between the green and red axes, and type in 15, 6.2. Notice there that measurement is down in the bottom right-hand corner. Enter. Now it's really small. It may be so small you can't see it. Put your mouse pointer right above it. Scroll in. There we go. Nice and big. Let's make sure it is. Turn on the tape measure. Just measure it. Yep, that's 15 from that corner. And the other direction is 6.2. All right. So that's the basic dimensions of the base. Now we have to push-pull it. So turn on your push-pull tool. Click on that rectangle that you just made. Start pulling up. 4, enter. So there's your basic block from which you're going to make the maglev vehicle. So that height once again, so it's 16. I'm going to put the dimensions on here with the dimension tool. It's 15 centimeters that way. 6.2 centimeters across, and 4 centimeters high. You can't change the 6.2 centimeters. That will you're going to be given a big strip of styrofoam, and it will already be 6.2 centimeters. What you will cut is the 15 centimeters. All right. Before we start cutting or changing this, we have to put a line at 2 centimeters from the bottom. So once again, turn on your tape measure, go down to the origin, start going up on that vertical axis to enter. And it made a little dot. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. Turn on your pencil tool where that dot is. Click. Keep the line red. Go all the way along. Click. So we're going to draw a line all the way around that block. Keep it green on that axis. Using your orbit tool, swing it around so you can still see that side. Once again, take your pencil tool. Keep the line red, go all the way down to the other end. And once again, swing it around using the orbit tool and finish off the line. So all the way around, I'll just put that dimension in there. All the way around is that line at 2 centimeters. And the purpose of that is to show you the region which you must not build. Why? Because that part of the styrofoam block will be sitting inside the aluminum track, where you have the 2 strips of magnet. Now, the rule is that you must not exceed, whatever you add to this, must not be greater than 10 centimeters sticking out on either side or 10 centimeters above the block. This is to keep it from being too wobbly. Yeah? So I'm going to say that this is, I'm going to swing it back around. So I have the axes like that. Now let's think about some of the tools you've already used. You could, for instance, streamline the front of it. How would you really do this? You're going to use wood files, or we have bread knives. But for instance, I click there. I'm using the 2-point arc tool. Click there. Click. That gives me a nice rounded edge. How am I going to get rid of that? So I use the 2-point arc tool to make that arc. It's up here. 2-point arc. Remember, all the tools, you can find the names of them simply by holding the pointer above them. I'm going to push-pull. Get rid of that. Gone. So I've got a nice rounded front. You may not want that. You may want to have a front that goes right down to here. I'm going to go Control-Z. Control-Z to get rid of that. You might want it like this. Wedge-shaped. Click. And I can push that all the way through. I have to push it now 2 segments. Push that through. Push that through. There we go. So I have another shape. So it's up to you how the front of it's going to look. It won't look, you're going to make a SketchUp model. Your final model may not be like this at all because you're going to test it. If it doesn't work, you're going to change your model and make it better and better. So you basically, our maglevs, although they're suspended on a magnetic field, they're being pushed by the big fan that you saw in the first part of this video. So I want to make something that's going to catch the wind. So I'm going to take my pencil tool, go straight down, click. I'm going to go straight across, click. Now I've got to go around to the other side. I'm going to swing it around once again. Remember the tool? The orbit tool. Swing it around. Keep it so that you can see that line. Ooh, that line is not straight at all. I'm going to erase that line. Not straight at all. I'm going to have to go back where I was so I can see that. So I wasn't paying any attention to the color of the line. Turn the pencil tool on. I should have kept the line green because it's level with the green axis, parallel to the green axis. Click. There we go. That's all right. Now if I measure that, it's going to be the same all the way around. Once again, go back to the orbit tool, swing it around, but you want to be able to see the line on top. And with the pencil tool, just go down to the 2 centimeter mark. Keep that line, should be blue. There we are, blue. Now, I can push-pull this to make it higher. So, turn on my push-pull tool, pull it up. I can pull it out on both sides. Now, if you pull it out on one side, you need to pull it out the same amount on the other side. So how far have I pulled it out? I don't know. Let's find out. I look down at the bottom right-hand corner. I pulled it out 3 centimeters. So that's okay. Remember I said to you that it can't stick out more than 10 centimeters on either side. Okay, so I'm going to go to the other side now and push-pull it out also 3 centimeters. So I'm going to use the orbit tool. Swing it around. Start pulling out. And if you remember, the measurement was 3, 3, enter. There we go. And I could push this up and make this higher if I wanted, and so on. So design, keep your design simple. Don't make it too complicated. You're working with styrofoam, and basically styrofoam's a nice soft material, but it's also difficult to make it very smooth. It doesn't have to be really smooth. You can sand it, you can file it. So there's a 3-dimensional look. Remember, you can go up here, camera, standard view, and you've got all the different views, top, bottom, front, back. ISO is the one where you're seeing it on an angle. There's the isometric view. ISO stands for isometric. It's now up to you. You'll color this. When you color it, don't pick a dark blue, dark green, dark red, dark black. Why not? It's hard to see the features. So pick a lighter color. So you can pick a light blue, gray, and so on. Color your maglev model. This is just your model. In the end, as I say, When you start testing it on the track, yours will look probably completely different from this. This is experimentation to determine what works best for you, what gives you the shortest time. Remember, your track is 7 meters long. You're going to be measuring the time taken to travel 5 meters, but you get another mark for completing the 7-meter journey. Yeah? So there's two things you want to do. Go as fast as you can in the first 5 meters, and secondly, to travel the entire length of the track, that is the 7 meters. Okay, so that's the basic SketchUp method that you're going to use. Don't forget, if you are at school, you have to go File, Save As, and you're going to save it in your TIJ file in your Maglev file. Not or if you can, or in your SketchUp file. As long as it's in a place where don't save it in downloads. Somebody else will rub it out, or you just won't know where it is. Save it back in a file, preferably the Maglev file. Okay, that's the end of this tutorial. It's up to you now to make your design of the Maglev and then physically make one in the shop. The pieces of styrofoam you use will be held together by toothpicks initially, but then we glue them together. So a combination of toothpicks to hold them together and wood glue. Wood glue takes about half an hour to dry, so the toothpicks will hold it in place. But for testing purposes, you just start out with toothpicks. If it works, then you'll glue it together. Last step is once you've got a really short time, preferably less than 2 seconds to go the 5 meters, you can paint it. Painting, gluing are sort of the last steps. All right, good luck on your Maglev.